The battlefield was quiet in a strange way. Not peaceful, not calm, just empty. Smoke drifted through broken metal and burning sand. Wrecked ships lay scattered like dead giants. The air smelled of heat, oil, and something bitter that burned the lungs. The war between humans and the Vierks Empire had raged for months, and this planet had become another graveyard. Sergeant Elias Rourke moved slowly through the ruins. His armor was cracked. His helmet was gone. Blood ran down the side of his face, warm and sticky. His rifle had only 3 energy cells left. The rest of his squad was gone, dead, missing, or worse. He didn't know. All he knew was that command had ordered a full retreat. Any soldier still alive was supposed to reach the extraction zone before orbital fire erased everything. But Elias hadn't left yet, because he heard something. A sound that didn't belong on a battlefield, crying. He stopped walking. The wind carried it again, weak, broken, afraid. Elias tightened his grip on his rifle and followed the sound, moving between shattered walls and burning wreckage. His boots crunched softly over glass and metal. Every step could bring an enemy patrol, but the crying continued. He found the source inside a collapsed transport pod. The metal shell was cracked open, bent inward like a crushed can. Inside, half buried under debris, was a small figure, an alien child. Elias froze. It was Vierks, same species they had been fighting for months. Same kind that had burned human colonies and wiped out cities without mercy. The same kind whose soldiers had killed his friends. The child was small, barely taller than his knee. Its skin was pale blue, marked with dark patterns. One leg was trapped under a twisted beam. Its eyes were wide, glowing faintly as tears rolled down its face. It saw him and screamed. Elias raised his rifle on instinct. His finger rested on the trigger. One shot. That's all it would take. No one would blame him, but the child didn't attack. It didn't snarl or bare its teeth. It reached out with a trembling hand and cried louder. Elias felt something twist inside his chest. "Damn it," he whispered. His comm unit crackled suddenly. "All units orbital strike in 6 minutes. Repeat, 6 minutes. If you're still down there, you won't make it. 6 minutes." He looked at the child, then at the sky, then back at the child. The logical choice was clear. The human choice was not. Slowly, he lowered his rifle. "Easy," he said quietly, even though he knew the child couldn't understand him. "I'm not gonna hurt you." The child only cried harder. Elias moved closer, careful not to scare it. The beam pinning its leg was heavy, too heavy for the child to move. Blood darkened the ground beneath it. If he left it, it would die. If he stayed, he probably would too. He cursed under his breath. "Guess I'm an idiot." He dropped his rifle and grabbed the beam with both hands. Pain shot through his arms as he lifted. The metal groaned but didn't move. He tried again, shouting this time. Muscles burned, his vision blurred. The beam shifted slightly. The child screamed in pain. I know, just hold on." With a final effort, Elias pushed the beam aside. It fell with a loud crash. The child's leg was free, wounded but not crushed. Elias tore open his medkit and worked fast. He wrapped the leg, sealed the wound, and injected a stabilizer. The child stared at him the entire time, not in fear, in confusion. "Stay still," Elias muttered. "You're gonna be okay, I think," the sky rumbled. 5 minutes left. Elias lifted the child carefully into his arms. It was lighter than he expected, too light. He adjusted his grip and began moving toward the extraction zone. Then the alarm started. Alien voices echoed through the ruins. Vierks patrols, too close. Elias ducked behind a broken wall just as energy fire ripped past him. The child whimpered and clutched his chest with small, shaking hands. "It's okay," he whispered. "I've got you." He ran. Shots burned the air around him. One struck his side. Pain exploded through his body, but he didn't stop. He tightened his hold on the child and kept moving. Another blast hit his shoulder. He stumbled, fell to one knee. Still, he didn't let go. He crawled behind a crashed transport and collapsed. His vision blurred. Blood soaked his uniform. His breathing came in short, painful bursts. The child pressed against him, trembling. "I'm sorry," he whispered. I tried." The sky darkened as ships moved into position above. Orbital fire was seconds away. Elias wrapped his body around the child, shielding it with what little strength he had left. "Don't be scared," he murmured. "It'll be over soon." Then everything went silent. Footsteps, heavy, slow, powerful. Elias forced his eyes open. A massive figure stood before him. An armored Vierks warrior, taller than any human, eyes glowing like cold stars. Her armor bore deep scars. Her presence alone pressed down on him like gravity. He knew who she was. Even humans knew the stories. The Vierks war matron. The one who never spared enemies. The one who commanded entire fleets. Her gaze fell to the child in his arms. Her child. For a moment the world stopped. Elias waited for death. Instead, she froze. Her eyes widened. Slowly, carefully, she stepped forward. She saw the blood. The wounds. The way the human's body was curled around her child like a shield. She knelt, touched the child's face. The child stirred and made a soft sound. Alive. The matron's breath hitched. Her gaze lifted slowly to Elias. Their eyes met. He expected rage, hatred, execution. But what he saw instead was something far more dangerous. Shock. "Why?" Her voice trembled in her own language. "Did you protect her?" Elias swallowed blood. "Because she's just a kid." His vision faded. The last thing he saw was the alien mother lifting her child gently into her arms, and then turning back to him with an expression the galaxy had never seen before. Not anger, not hatred, but something close to awe. And fear. Darkness came slowly, not the sudden kind, not the violent kind. It was soft, heavy, and deep, like sinking into warm water. Elias did not know how much time passed. When he finally opened his eyes, the first thing he felt was pain. It burned in his side, his shoulder, his chest. His body felt heavy, weak, and strange. He tried to move his hand. It wouldn't respond. Panic rushed through him. He tried again, still nothing. Then he realized something else. He was breathing clean air, not smoke, not dust, not battlefield poison. Clean. His eyes focused slowly. He was lying on a smooth surface, slightly warm. The light above him was soft blue, not harsh white. Strange symbols glowed along the walls. The room was quiet, too quiet. This was not a human medbay. His memory returned all at once. The child, the battlefield, the alien warrior. He tried to sit up. Pain exploded through him and he groaned. Immediately, movement came from the far side of the room. A tall figure stepped forward. Elias froze. It was her, the alien mother. Up close, she was even more terrifying. Taller than any human soldier. Her armor was dark and heavy, marked with glowing patterns. Her face was sharp, powerful, and unreadable, but her eyes were focused only on him. "You are awake," she said slowly, her voice deep but calm. Her translator worked with a low hum. Elias swallowed. "Yeah," he whispered, "looks like it." He tried to move again and failed. What did you do to me?" She stepped closer. "You were dying," she said. "We stopped it." His eyes widened slightly. "You saved me." "Yes." He didn't understand. "Why?" The alien woman paused. Then she turned slightly and Elias saw something that made his breath catch. The child. The small alien sat on a raised platform nearby, wrapped in soft medical cloth. Its leg was bandaged. It was alive, awake. And watching him, the child made a soft sound when their eyes met. Elias felt his throat tighten. "She's okay?" he asked quietly. The alien nodded once. "Because of you." Silence filled the room. Elias looked away, exhausted. Then, "I guess it was worth it." The alien mother studied him carefully. "You are an enemy soldier," she said. "You knew we would kill you." "Yeah," he replied weakly. "You chose to protect my child anyway." "Yes." "Why?" He thought for a moment. Then he answered honestly. "Because she was scared. Because she was hurt. Because she's a kid." The alien tilted her head slightly. "That answer makes no tactical sense." He gave a tired half-smile. Humans aren't always tactical. Another silence followed. Then slowly the alien did something no human had ever seen a Vierks do. She lowered herself to one knee, not in submission, but in respect. "My name," she said, "is Kareth. I am War Mother of the Seventh Fleet." Elias blinked. "You're the commander?" "Yes." He swallowed hard. "And you didn't kill me because—" She looked at her child again. "You saved what was mine." Her voice softened just a little. "In our culture, that creates a bond." Elias frowned. "What kind of bond?" Her eyes met his. "A life debt." His heart skipped. "That sounds serious." "It is." He tried to sit up again, panic rising. "Look, I didn't do it for rewards or politics. She raised a hand, stopping him. "I know." She stepped closer. "Which is why your survival confuses my people." He noticed movement outside the chamber, shadows, guards. "They want me dead," he guessed. "Yes. Figures." "They believe mercy is weakness," she said. "They believe you will kill again if released." He laughed weakly. "Honestly, I just want to go home." Kareth studied his face. "You shielded my child with your body," she said slowly. "You did not hesitate. You did not bargain. You did not ask for mercy." She leaned closer. "Why?" Elias closed his eyes for a moment. "When I was a kid, my colony got hit. Pirates. I hid under a floor panel. A soldier found me." He swallowed. "He could have ignored me. Instead, he picked me up and carried me out." He opened his eyes again. "He died doing it." The room went silent. Kareth straightened. "Then you repaid a debt not owed," she said. The door to the chamber suddenly opened. Several armored Vierks officers entered. Their weapons were lowered but not relaxed. One stepped forward. "War Mother," he said sharply, "the Council demands judgment. The human must be executed. He is an enemy combatant." Elias felt his chest tighten, so this was it. Kareth did not turn to them. "No," she said calmly. The officers stiffened. "He is under my protection." Murmurs spread through the room. "This violates—" "I know the law," she snapped, "and I invoke the ancient claim." The room went still. Even the guards seemed uncertain. "The ancient claim," one whispered. "That law hasn't been used in generations." Kareth turned to them fully. "When a life is saved without demand," she said, "the savior becomes bound to the saved, and the saved becomes the responsibility of the protector." She gestured toward Elias. "This human saved my child." Her voice hardened. "That makes him mine." Shock rippled through the chamber. Elias stared at her. I don't think that's how adoption works where I'm from." A few guards twitched, unsure if they should laugh or be offended. Kareth ignored him. "No harm will come to him," she declared. "Not by my command." "Not by yours." The lead officer hesitated. "And if the High Council objects, then they will answer to me." Silence. Then slowly the guards stepped back. The doors closed. Elias exhaled shakily. "Wow," he muttered. "I really stepped into something big, did I?" Kareth turned to him. "Yes." He looked at her, serious now. "You know they'll never trust me." "No," she agreed. "But they will fear what I do next." He frowned. "And what is that?" She looked down at her child, who was watching him quietly. "I will show them what humans truly are." The child slowly stood and walked toward him. Elias held his breath. The small alien stopped beside his bed and gently placed a hand on his arm. Warm, alive, safe. Elias felt his eyes sting. Kareth spoke softly. "You protected my future." She straightened. "Now, human, you will change it." Elias Rourke stood on the polished platform of the Vierks Council chamber. The room was enormous, filled with the tallest and most powerful members of the alien empire. Their faces were sharp and serious. Some had multiple eyes. Some had glowing patterns running across their skin. All of them were warriors, generals, and leaders. Every one of them had killed human soldiers, or so Elias thought, and all of them were staring at him now. Kareth, the War Mother, stood beside him. Her child sat safely in a small protective cradle nearby, bandaged but alert. The glow from the symbols on the walls lit her skin in a soft, strange way. The silence stretched. Elias shifted slightly, his injuries still burning in his body. His shoulder ached. His side throbbed. He had slept little. He had eaten nothing. But none of that mattered now. All that mattered was the room full of Vyerk's elders who wanted him dead. A deep, cold voice broke the silence. "You claim this human is under your protection," said a council elder. His eyes burned like molten metal. "He is our enemy. He has killed Vyerk's soldiers, destroyed property, and fought against us. The law is clear. He must die." Kareth stepped forward. "Not by my command," she said firmly. "He saved my child. By the ancient claim, he is now under my protection. No harm may come to him." The council murmured. Shock, anger, disbelief rippled through the chamber. One of the council members hissed, "The ancient claim has not been invoked in 1,000 cycles. You cannot do this. This human. He saved a life." Eth interrupted, her voice rising. "He did not act out of fear, not out of strategy, not out of obedience. He acted out of compassion. And in doing so, he proved what your laws and your strength cannot measure, the courage of a human soul." Elias swallowed. He had never heard an alien speak like that about a human. The words burned inside him. He felt pride, disbelief, and fear all at once. A younger council member leaned forward. "You speak of courage, War Mother, yet he is still a human soldier. How can we trust him? He could betray you. He could betray all of us." Eth's gaze met his. Then she turned to the council and spoke, slower now, like each word was deliberate. "Trust is earned through action, and he has acted. He saved my child when it would have been easier to let her die. He faced certain death to protect her. That is proof enough. And if you do not honor this, you will face shame in the eyes of history and in the eyes of the stars." The chamber went quiet. The elders whispered to each other. Some scowled. Some tilted their heads in thought. Elias' pulse quickened. This was the moment he had feared. One wrong word, one hesitation, and he would be executed. But he could not stay silent. He had to speak. He straightened as best he could, the pain in his side screaming at him. His voice was low but firm. "I didn't save her because of politics. I didn't save her because I expected anything in return. I saved her because she couldn't defend herself, because it was the right thing to do. That's all there is to it." A silence fell over the chamber so deep that Elias could hear his own heartbeat. Then Kareth said, softly but clearly, "And that is why I protect him. That is why the ancient claim is honored. That is why humanity is not your enemy, even if your eyes have never seen it before." Some of the elders whispered, their voices full of tension. Others seemed thoughtful. One, older than the rest, finally spoke. "If what you say is true," he said slowly, "then the human acted with honor, but honor does not erase death. He has killed Vyerk's soldiers. He has destroyed ships. He has fought our warriors." "Yes," Elias said quietly, "I have, and I don't deny it, but I also didn't kill the innocent. I didn't harm children. I didn't leave the weak to die. That's what makes us human." The chamber was silent again. Many of the elders had never heard a human speak so clearly, so calmly, without pleading, without fear. His words were simple, but they carried weight. The elder who had spoken first stared at him, then slowly nodded. Perhaps we have underestimated them." Kareth's hand rested briefly on Elias' shoulder. "They are more than you know," she said, "and so are we." Another elder leaned forward. "If you protect this human, what does that mean for the war? If humans can act with such courage, if they can show such mercy, what stops them from uniting against us?" Elias straightened despite the pain. "You've already seen it. We fight, we survive, we save. Not because we're stronger than you, not because we're faster, but because we care, we think, we don't just follow orders blindly, we make choices, and those choices make us human." The room went silent. No one moved. No one spoke. The words hung in the air like a living thing. Finally, Kareth spoke. "This human is under my claim. He will not be harmed, and because of him we will begin to see the truth of another species. We will learn from them, and they will learn from us." Elias felt a warmth in his chest. He was weak, exhausted, hurt. But in that moment he knew something important. He had changed the course of history. The council murmured. Some seemed angry, some seemed thoughtful, some seemed confused, but no one moved against him. The youngest council member spoke up. "What is your plan, War Mother?" Kareth's gaze swept over the council, then back to Elia's. "The plan," she said, "is to end this war without more death, and this human will help me show that it is possible." Elia's head tilted slightly. "Me? Help?" "Yes," Kareth said. "You protected the future when you saved my child. Now you will help protect the galaxy." The words were heavy. The room was still. He had no idea how he would do it. He had no weapons, no reinforcements, just his body, his courage, and his words. But one thing was clear: he had earned the right to stand here, not because he was powerful, not because he had skill, but because he had chosen compassion when it mattered most. The council shifted. The elders whispered among themselves. They had seen countless warriors, countless conquerors, but this was something new. Kareth gestured to Elias. "He will accompany me, he will advise me, and he will continue to protect my child. Nothing else matters." The child looked at him and smiled faintly. Elias felt a lump in his throat. He had saved her, and now somehow she and her mother had saved him too. He straightened his back. Pain throbbed in every joint. Blood ached in his side. His shoulder burned, but he lifted his chin. "Then let's get started," he said. Kareth nodded. "Yes. Let us show the universe what humans can do." The council remained silent, but the message was clear. A human, one simple soldier, had faced death, chosen mercy, and survived. And in doing so, he had changed the minds of an entire alien race. Outside, ships waited. The war had not ended. Battles still raged on distant planets, but a bridge had been built, fragile, new, and full of promise. Elias looked at Kareth. She met his gaze, and for the first time he saw something beyond the warrior, a glimmer of hope, respect, a recognition that they were stronger together than apart. He had saved one life, and now that choice had the power to save countless others. For the first time in a long time, Elias smiled. A human had changed the fate of two species, and somehow that felt bigger than victory. Because sometimes, survival wasn't about weapons, fleets, or strategy. Sometimes it was about courage, choice, and compassion. And today, Elia's work had proven that humanity's greatest weapon was exactly that: